then I guess we're going to have the class first, because I can't dance. So, I'm not very good at doing Bharatanatyam. Okay, so let's start. So what we're going to do first is we're going to chant the prayer to Srimati Radharani written by Srila Rupa Goswami called Shri Radhika Stava. Some of you may be familiar with this, and you can chant in response to my chanting if you like. This is a beautiful prayer glorifying Srimati Radharani. Radhe Jaya Jaya Hare Acharya also tell us that Shimad, His Divine Grace Abhaya Chalananda Bhaktivedanta Goswami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidwaita Gadadha Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopi Gopinath Sayama Kunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Machuradam Ki Jai Jagadadasami Ki Jai Munamaya Ki Jai Shrimati Lasti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Radha Krishna Vastaya Mudale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Samaniti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nivashesha Shanyavani Paschachayashitamani Saomagnata Vrandasha Gananjana Shlakaya Chakshur Unminitam Yena Tasmai Shigurveda Maha. So first I'm going to read the translation of this nice poem to Srimati Radharani, written by Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami is one of the principal followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in Krishna Leela, he is one of the Manjari gopis. Now, for those of you who don't know, there's different gopis who assist and serve Radha and Krishna. Manjari gopis are the very young gopis, like this young girl here. They don't directly dance with Krishna or anything with Krishna. They're just serving Radharani and Lita and Vishaka and the other principal gopis in their pastimes. So Rupa Goswami is a Manjari gopi, and he appeared in West Bengal as one of the principal followers of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, along with his brother Sanatana Goswami and another brother Anupama. And they were instructed by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in all the details of devotional service. Rupa Goswami is considered to be the Abhideya Acharya. Abhideya means how to perform devotional service. In understanding Krishna consciousness, there's three aspects: Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. Seems like technical terms, but I'll explain. Sambandha is basically knowing who Krishna is, knowing what the soul is, knowing what the material world is, knowing what the spiritual world is. And Abhideya is knowing what to do about it, which is the process of bhakti. How to transcend this world. And then there's Prayojana, which is what happens in the spiritual world when you go back. And that Acharya is Raghunath Das Goswami. So there's these 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan who taught us and continue to teach us everything, through coming down through disciplic succession to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So that's why we chanted Rupa Goswami's prayer. Everything that I say about Radharani today will be based upon either Rupa Goswami or some Acharya or some Pradaya, not some story. You hear so many stories. Like you go to the Ramayana, you hear so many stories, and you ask someone, where does that story come from? I don't know. I heard it. From who? Well, from my mother. Who'd she hear it from? Her mother. That's a disciplic succession, right? It's not a bona fide disciplic succession, unless your mother is a pure devotee. That's fine. We accept that. So, anyway, that's why we use these particular prayers when glorifying Radharani and Krishna. Because the principle or the person of Radharani is so exalted. Right now, we are immersed in Krishna's material energy. Right now, we are associating with Durga Devi. Right? Right now, we want to possess Lakshmi. Lakshmi belongs to Vishnu. Just like you do, sometimes you do the Lakshmi puja, right? You think, oh, I can possess Lakshmi. No, you cannot possess Lakshmi. Who possesses Lakshmi? Vishnu, Narayan. So right now, when we try to possess Lakshmi, Lakshmi turns herself into Durga. And you say, oh, that's nice. I like Durga too. Well, I like Durga also, but not when she's piercing you with her trishra, her trident, with the miseries. Adhyatmik, adhibodhik, adhidaivic. Miseries of what? Miseries from the body and mind. Just like I was speaking to a devotee before class, he was telling me about how he's experiencing pain. He actually gave a very good example. I like the story he told. He said, you have to understand where the pain is coming from. I said, what do you mean by that? And so he said, if you throw a dog a bone, the dog will go for the bone. But if you throw a tiger or a lion a bone, he'll go for the person who threw the bone. I really like that example. What does that mean? That if we're experiencing some pain, we try to understand how Krishna is connected to it. We're getting it from Durga, like that. So, adhyatmik, adhibodhik, and adhidaivic miseries. So this comes because you want to possess Lakshmi. As soon as you give up your desire to possess Lakshmi, no more material miseries. Then you got real Lakshmi. That's the point. Because you have to have Lakshmi with Narayan. Your friend tried to have one of your good friends here. I won't mention his name, Robin. He tried to have Lakshmi, but he didn't want Ram. Right? And what did he get? He got trouble. He got all of his heads chopped off. We only have one head, so it'd be easy for Ram to chop off our heads. Or Durga to chop off our heads. Anyway, apart from that, so let's read this prayer by Rupa Goswami. It goes as follows. This is the translation, of course. Sanskrit prayer, beautiful prayer. O Radha, O Madhava's beloved, O you whom all the young girls of Gokula worship, all glories unto you, all glories unto you. Second one. O you who dress yourself as to make Lord Damodar love you more and more, O Queen of Lord Hari's pleasure grows in Vrindavan. And then that's one, we have four verses actually. O new moon arisen from the ocean of King Vrishabhanu, O friend of Lalita, O you whose virtues delight Vishaka. O most merciful goddess, O you whose divine qualities are sung by Sanaka and Sanatan Kumaras, O most merciful Radha, please be merciful to me. So this is Rupa Goswami's glorification of Srimati Radharani. So let's try to understand who Srimati Radharani is. Now there's different classes of living entities. We're one class, we're called what? Jiva souls. And we are struggling what? With the senses and the mind in this material world. So that's one class. We're called also to Tatashta Shakti. Tatashta means that we can choose between spiritual and material, between Krishna and Maya. So we're responsible. If you're here in this world, I think you are all here in this world. Hopefully. Obviously. So if you are here in this world, so that means you did something wrong. You may say, I don't remember doing anything wrong. But you don't remember that you did something wrong. What did you do? Krishna Bhakti Mukha. You turned your face away from Krishna. We are originally Krishna conscious living entities. We are originally in bliss. We are originally happy. And then what happened? We decided we wanted to imitate Krishna. Okay, come down to Fiji. But you're thinking, oh, Fiji's not so nice, I can migrate and go somewhere else. But the whole world has the same problems. Problems. Right? You're thinking, oh, financially it's very difficult here. Okay. So then you migrate to Australia. And you get paid more money, but your cost of living is 5 times as much. And then you have to work like a donkey. So this is the nature of this world. We're thinking by going here, going there, Brahmanda Brahmate Konda Bhagavan. We're going here, going there, we're wandering. And even we wander in other bodies, non-human bodies. And we think we'll enjoy this particular way. But it doesn't work. So we should migrate to the spiritual world. And I can give you visa. We don't charge that much. And so you simply have to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. And what is the Hare Krishna mantra? It's a prayer to Radharani. Yes, Krishna's name is there. When we chant Krishna's name, Krishna means the most attractive person, but it's actually a prayer to Radharani, who is the Shakti. We mentioned we are what? We are Jiva souls. We're Jiva Shakti, different quality. But Radharani is the spiritual energy of God. The pleasure potency, Adi Shakti, Ladini, that means pleasure, potency. And so the Hare Krishna mantra is a prayer to Srimati Radharani to let us serve Krishna. Like Hare is a vocative word, for those of you who study linguistics, language. It means a word that means crying out. Like if you say, oh Krishna, same thing. Or oh Radha, or Radhe. The other type of word is called nominative, where you're calling someone by a name. Like that. Rascal, that's someone's name. I use it quite often. So anyway, with disciples. So anyway, so that's nominative, that means a name. So, but Hare is in the vocative form, and it's Radharani's name. Oh Radhe. Oh Radharani, but what are we asking Radharani for? We're asking Radharani to what? Engage us in serving Krishna. Because that is our nature, our constitutional nature. Because we're not going to be happy any other way. We're like fish outside of the water in the material world. Fish can swim here, swim there. Oh, actually outside, out of the water. Fish can't swim. But we're meant to swim. Not literally, figuratively. We're meant to swim. And we're meant to swim in the ocean of devotional service. But right now, we are in the ocean of material suffering. There's always some anxiety. So, it's called bhava, not baba, bhava in Sanskrit. Bhava means the existence in the material world. And we have something, we all have this disease called the bhava rog. That means the disease of being in the material world. We also have bhava rog, means diseased emotions in this world. So anyway, so we're crying out the Maha Mantras, Hare Krishna, Radharani, save me. Actually, when a devotee chants, a real good devotee chants the holy name, we're chanting Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram. Patitamam Vishame Bhavam Kripya Tapapada Pankaja Stuja Juli Sadra Samachitya. Oh Radha, save us! Engage us in Krishna's service, because that's what we're meant to do. That's our constitutional position, so that's the position of happiness. And then, of course, after Hare, we have Krishna, because Radharani engages us in Krishna's service. And then Hare Krishna to the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And then Hare Ram. So, of course, Ram refers to Lord Ram, Balaram, and Radha Raman. Interesting. So Radha's there too in the name Ram. So please engage us in serving you. So that is the meaning of the Hare Krishna mantra. And so we pray like that to Srimati Radharani. Hey Radhe Braja Devake. Hey Nanda Shinokata. Please engage me in Krishna's service. So who is Radharani? We started talking about that. So she's called the Adi Shakti, original Shakti of the Lord, from whom all the other Shaktis expand. Or let's explain what I mean by that. You have Radharani, of course. Okay, let's go further back. Krishna wants to enjoy, but he doesn't want to enjoy material. He doesn't enjoy material things. He doesn't enjoy a new car. He has plenty of cars. He has plenty of nice prasadam or bhoga in the spiritual world. Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sambrahman. So Krishna wants to enjoy. And Krishna wants to enjoy the loving relationship with his female counterpart. It's interesting. We talk about the absolute truth. The absolute truth is both male and female. Some people just worship the female aspect, they're Shaktas. Some people just worship the male aspect, they don't understand. So we in Krishna consciousness understand the absolute is both male and female. It's nice, isn't it? We're not chauvinists and we're not feminists. We're Unitarians. I know that's the name of a religion. But we believe in the unity. So Krishna wants to enjoy, and that enjoyment is manifest as Srimati Radharani. And Krishna wants to enjoy what we call a conjugal relationship. A conjugal relationship means between male and female, right? So in this world, we also have relationships between male and female when I last checked. Because I'm a sannyasi, I'm not supposed to talk about these things. But we also have relationships. Like you watch so many Bollywood movies. Generally, they're about some relationship between male and female. Romance in the Bombay railway station. It's probably the worst place to have a romance. If you've ever been to India, you know what I'm talking about. So where does that come from? That comes from Krishna and Radha. Everything we have in this world is a reflection of the spiritual world. The Bhagavad Gita, in the 15th chapter, states that this world is like the reflection of a banyan tree on a river or a lake, a body of water. In other words, the roots are up and the branches are down. Of course, the banyan tree is mixed. You get everything up and down anyway. But so that's the nature of the material world. So the spiritual world, there are relationships between the supreme Purusha, Purusha means male, and the supreme Prakriti, female, Srimati Radharani. And so Krishna has those relationships. He has friendship relationships. He's the supreme friend. And he has many friends in the spiritual world. Krishna is the supreme child. And he has many people who relate to him in a parental mood. Of course, he has one mother, Yashodamaya. Krishna is the supreme master, and he has many servants. Krishna is the supreme adorable, and he has many people who just love him, just worship him in the Shantaras. So that's the spiritual world. That's why we have all these things here. You have friends here. You have I don't want to say girlfriends, boyfriends. This is Fiji. You have married. You have husband and wife. Okay. Of course, this is Suva. This is not Lambasa. I was in Lambasa and I said, does anyone have boyfriends and girlfriends in Lambasa? No. We don't allow that here. They said, you have to go to Suva to see that. So, culture changes. So, everything, all these relationships we have, God has, Krishna has these relationships. It's wonderful, isn't it? There's people in this world called Mayavadis and personalists who think they can have relationships with God. You know, he's just like some light somewhere. He's just like your light bulb. You can just go to him when you want some light, some Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. All these different stupid things that people say, thinking that they can actually understand the absolute and thinking the absolute is actually just energy. So Krishna's like that. He's a fun guy. He likes to have fun. So in the spiritual world, he has girlfriends. But you may say, oh, what an example he's setting. Horrible example, girlfriends. I like Lord Ram better. Lord Ram was Eka Patni Vrata, right? Even when that beautiful girl, Subranaka, wanted to get married to him, he said no. Poor Subranaka, she was merely in love. And Krishna made arrangements so he could have a relationship with her in the next life. That's how bad Krishna is, you know. She became Kubja. You know that? And then Krishna had a relationship. And so, what kind of God is that? He's having so many girlfriends. What the point is, they all belong to him. He's not having extramarital affairs. Because every single girl that's related with Krishna in the spiritual world, first of all, they belong to him. Ishavasha vidam sabram yakim cha jagajam jagat tena chiktena bunjara magridham krishna's vijanam. Everything belongs to Krishna. You're the one who's thinking wrongly, thinking your wife belongs to you. My wife, my husband. I'm your Radha, you're my Krishna. Really bad Krishna and Radha. I thought Krishna looked a lot better than that. So anyway, everyone belongs to Krishna, first of all. Secondly, when Krishna relates with the gopis, headed up by Srimati Radharani, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa, they don't have material bodies. Satchidananda, they have bodies made of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. So it's not like some lusty affairs of this world. There's an exchange of love. It's a true loving exchange, an exchange of service, and an exchange of pleasing the other. Like Srimati Radharani, we were mentioning this morning in class, she's ready to do anything to please Krishna. And Krishna is ready to do anything to please her. Krishna becomes controlled by Radharani. That's one of her qualities. She keeps Krishna always under her control, right? So all the devotees, they also are able to control Krishna by their devotion. That's a symptom of devotional service, because all the devotees, Daivam Prakriti Mashrita, they're working under Radharani's jurisdiction. So Krishna's enjoying all these spiritual relationships in the spiritual world, and we're meant to be part of those relationships. And in this world, everything is a reflection of those relationships. So just like the relationships in the spiritual world are all eternity, full of eternal bliss and knowledge, the relationships in this material world are temporary. And there may be some pleasure for some time, yes. But it's temporary. Because we lose after some time. But the action of Krishna is what? Time factor. Kalo asmi, as Krishna says in Gita, the 11th chapter of the Gita. Arjuna was seeing the universal form, and Arjuna asked Krishna, "Who are you?" And Krishna says, "Kalo asmi, I am time. And I meant to engage all people." And Arjuna was able to see all the different soldiers enter into the mouths of the universal form, right? Kalo asmi. So, we should enter into Krishna's relationship. Every one of you has a relationship with Krishna of one of 5 basic types. You can become, you can realize who you are. You can realize that you're a gopi. You can realize that you're Krishna's maternal, that is motherly affection, or paternal, fatherly affection. You can realize that you're Krishna's buddy in the spiritual world. You can realize that you're Krishna's servant. And then you can enjoy with Krishna forever. But you cannot become Radharani. You cannot become Mother Yashoda. You cannot become the principal people like Sudam, Sridham. And you cannot become Madhu Mangal, the famous joker in the spiritual world. I'll tell you one story about Madhu Mangal. Actually, now that I mentioned it, I can't. Someone's phone's going on? Okay. Madhu Mangal, he's a great joker. And sometimes he gets Krishna in trouble. One time Krishna came back late, and Mother Yashoda asked asked Krishna, "Where were you?" And Madhu Mangal said he was just looking at the girls, spiritual girls. And another time, Madhu Mangal, he was stealing sweets and butter along with Krishna, and he couldn't escape in time because he was a little heavy. And so the gopis were beating him with sticks in his rear end. And Krishna told the gopis, "You committed grave offense against the Brahmins, so you have to beg for forgiveness." So they begged for forgiveness, and he said, "What can we do?" And he said, "You should just feed me ladus." So he kept eating ladus, and after he ate about 2,000 of them, he said, "I bless you all, should be married to Krishna." Anyway, so getting back to Srimati Radharani, we were just talking about our own relationships. So by taking shelter of Srimati Radharani, we can actually enter into the spiritual realm. And how do we know how to take shelter of Srimati Radharani? Well, Krishna, he appears in the mood of Srimati Radharani and teaches how to take shelter of Srimati. Because we are so dumb in Kali Yuga. Isn't it? It's stated, Manda Sumanda, Matayo, Manda Bhagya, Upagrita. That in this age, everyone's unfortunate, everyone's short-lived. Sumanda, people's minds, just like memories not so good. Manda Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagya, Upagrita. So therefore, Kalo Nestat Krishamesha Purnam Purnansa. We have the Bhagavatam. I was asked to speak about that. So we have the Bhagavatam, which manifests Krishna, and we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, who comes to teach us how to worship in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Because it's not enough just to chant Radhe Radhe. It's nice, wonderful, but we are chanting Hare Krishna, which means Radha engages in Krishna's service. So how do we engage in Krishna's service? So Lord Chaitanya, he's Krishna, and he takes on the mood of Srimati Radharani, because Radharani is the most compassionate. Krishna, sometimes his compassion has a limit, right? Remember your friend Shishupal? There was a limit. It was a pretty big limit. 100 offenses. Then you get your head chopped off. That's a pretty big limit. But Krishna is very demanding too. He says what? Sarva dharma purchaja mamikam sharanam braja aham tvam sarvabhupibhyo mokshayasami. You got to surrender to me. That's it. No other way. Because he's the supreme male. So the supreme female, Radharani, is more compassionate. Just like the ladies are more compassionate and emotional than men. Usually. Right? Just like if you go to a marriage, the ladies are crying. The men are bored. The men are talking business, and the ladies going, "Oh, isn't this nice? You're getting married. Oh, the Mangal Sutra. Oh, isn't she adorable?" You know, I've been to many marriages. I know what I'm talking about. It's just like, oh my God, get me out of here. So ladies are very sentimental, loving, compassionate, whereas men, they're just like, I mean, look at the state of the world today. It's because of men, right? You got all these men leaders in the world, all these major disasters were caused by men. Am I right or wrong? I'm speaking like a feminist. So, and Hitler was a man, Mussolini was a man, Aurangzeb, who killed like millions and millions of Hindus, he was a man. So the ladies tend to be more compassionate. So the supreme lady, supreme female, supreme counterpart of the supreme male, Krishna, is more compassionate than Krishna, right? So when Krishna decides to come down in the mood of Radharani, he becomes more compassionate. That's Lord Chaitanya. Of course, he has his own reasons for coming down. He wants to understand Radharani's love. Even he can't understand Radharani's love. That's how exalted Radharani is. Even God, Krishna, cannot understand the love that Radharani has for him. How can we understand? So in order to understand, in order to appreciate himself from her perspective, in order to see his attractiveness from her perspective, he comes down in her mood. And then he takes the position of a teacher who's acting like a student. In other words, I'll tell you what I mean by that. When Lord Chaitanya was young, he took initiation, he went through the process of sadhana bhakti, right? He took sannyas. So he acted to teach us about Radharani. And to give us Radharani's compassion and love. So if we really want to understand Radharani and get her compassion, then we follow Lord Chaitanya's teachings. And Rupa Goswami's teachings, as I mentioned before, is Rupa Manjari, Radharani's associates. All of Lord Chaitanya's associates, not all, but most of them were Radharani's associates. Some were Krishna's associates, but they were all from the spiritual world. Like we have the Panchatattva, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Of course, that's Krishna in the mood of Radharani. Prabhu Nityananda, that's Balaram. Advaita, who is Mahavishnu, Sadashiva, Ganadhar, who is Radharani in the Panchatattva. Radharani appears as Ganadhar. And then Srivas, who is Narada Muni, who teaches us also how to worship Krishna. So this is how we understand Srimati Radharani. So as I mentioned, Radharani is not only Adi Shakti, Lady Shakti, she's the Adi Lakshmi. It's two. So all of the different wives of Krishna, the Lakshmis in the spiritual world, are all expansions, and ultimately Durga expands like that. So today we are commemorating Radharani's appearance, and I actually said how to appreciate her through Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teachings. And so if you're interested in hearing about these teachings, I was asked to speak about Bhagavatam's, that's there over there, because this is Vajra Purnima. We're coming up upon Vajra Purnima. Of course, this is the 8th day of the moon, and then there's the Purnima. So then you can read these books. These books of Srila Prabhupada's translations, commentaries by Srila Prabhupada, are the original Bhagavatam and the commentaries by Radharani's devotees. That is Prabhupada, who is compiling the commentaries of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and other great acharyas. So you will understand how to associate with Radharani and get her mercy by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. And also we have another set called the Chaitanya Charitamrita set, which will help you understand Srimati Radharani's mood when Lord Krishna appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Okay, so I think it's time for the dance, right? So anybody have any questions about Srimati Radharani? Yes.
Like when we are chanting, should we imagine Ram along with Radha when we say Hare Ram?
When we are chanting, his question is, when we are chanting, should we remember who? Ram.
When we are chanting, should we try imagining Ram along with Radha?
No, Ram is not associated with Radha. Ram is associated with Sita. Sita is an expansion of Srimati Radharani. She's also the Shakti of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So no. When we are chanting, we should be praying. No imagination, no artificial imposition of the mind. We should be praying, Radha, Krishna, engage me in service. Save me. You're drowning, but you think you're not drowning. One time I was crossing the Ganges River with one of my disciples. And I said, are you sure you know how to swim? He said, yeah, I know how to swim. I'm really good at swimming. I said, okay, let's see. So he gets out to the middle. Gurdeep! Help! Help! I'm drowning! And so, he had to be saved. So oftentimes, we don't realize how drowning we are in the ocean of material existence. We think, I know how to swim here, you know. I know science. Just like that story Prabhupada told about the boatman. You know the boatman story? Once upon a time, there was a scientist, very educated, and he was taking a boat across the Ganges River. And he got in the boat, and the boatman started to row the boat. And he said, boatman, how much do you know about mathematics? And the boatman said, I don't know anything about mathematics. And the scientist said, your life is 25% useless, hopeless. And then he kept rowing and said, how much do you know about science? Nothing, same thing, 50%. And he keeps rowing. How much do you know about biology? Nothing. Okay, 75% useless. Then there was a storm like we're having now, it's in Krishna's religion. And the boat started tipping, went over, and the boatman said to the scientist, how much do you know about swimming? And the scientist said, I don't know how to swim. And Bhagavan said, your life is 100% useless. So therefore, we don't realize we're in a precarious situation. Padam panam yad vipadam natesha. We're very So that's the end of class.